And, just to set the stage a little bit for everybody there, your career started young. It went and it kind of snowballed, Barbara, right? You were saying it just sort of catapulted, and you found yourself in places and at events and being guided towards this sort of fame, if you will, right?
Yeah.
So let's just give everybody a little teaser, right? Because we're going to be doing our show tonight, and we've got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week. Obviously, we're going to be diving into Epstein's Black Book and what the meaning of that is, how it all connects, how you fit in with everything. But what other names and elites and celebrities will be covered throughout the weeks? Now, I just want to prefix this to everybody. You're going to hear some names now. When we talk about individuals, we may be smart about it, and we may have to guide you towards a certain individual if certain individuals may be millionaire rappers who can sue everybody. You know what I'm saying? So there's going to be some of that involved in the narrative. But just for this particular section, what sort of individuals have you, for a variety of reasons, met and been involved with over the years, Barbara?
Okay, well, there is a rapper who is currently in jail right now. I worked with him for 5 years. I worked for Sean John, the 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 fashion brand that Diddy Sean Combs has. Um, I worked with him for 5 years, and he threatened me after the 5 year contract if I didn't stay that night at his house for the after party. He was not going to renew my contract, which he was so cheap, by the way. I'm going to tell you how cheap he was. He was so cheap that I had to fly the next day to New York on a red eye shooting for Pantene that I got paid $500,000 for. And he hired me for 5 years and paid me $200,000 for. So it shows how cheap he is. So I told him, "You can't afford me. I'm not staying for your party." And he said, "Well, listen, that's not a good look." His son, who is, who was his son? That cute one that had Quincy. I was modeling Quincy's fashion line, and he said, "You're the perfect fit for Quincy's fashion line." I said, "Well, then you have to pay me more." So there's that guy. Then there's another rapper that starts with the J, ends with the Z. That guy, big jerk. Uh, I'm affiliated with also John Legend, David Blaine, Naomi Campbell, um, Harvey Weinstein, uh, Renee Zellweger. Uh, who else? I mean, the list goes on and on.
Yeah, it's a pretty long list. I'm not going to lie. Just it's probably quicker to see who isn't involved in this than who is, because it is a very complex tale. And the center of this for you, Barb, is to expose the networks and the methods used by Epstein and individuals like him. The difference between individuals like you who are not only generating money but are chasing this promise of fame. So let's go to this. Let's sort of jump into the point in your life where you were introduced and Epstein became part of that world.
Okay, so the world that I was in was very it's okay. You want to be at the top. As a model, your goal is to be a top supermodel, okay? So in order to be a top supermodel, you have to be exposed, go to events like a Cartier party. You have to go to the after parties after a fashion show. You have to mingle with these high-end elites. So in order to mingle with them, your agency tells you, "Hey, since you did the Louis Vuitton fashion show, after the show there's an after party, so you have to go." So you go to these after parties and you get affiliated with these CEOs, these other brands. You have to learn who is the designer and the CEO of Louis Vuitton, who's the designer of Tom Ford, who's running which magazine, who's the editor-in-chief of Vogue, who's the editor-in-chief of Marie Claire. That's my job. I have to know who is who. Why? Because I'm my own brand. I'm representing myself. As a model, I am a brand, I'm an enterprise. So I want to be up here, not down here. So I have to go to these parties. So what happens is a lot of these guys like Epstein, Harvey Weinstein, CEOs of many corporations, they call up the agencies and they say, can you please invite your top 20 girls to these after parties so all the men and women can make it like an ambiance, and you want to be the top 20, you want to be there, you understand, you want to be in these events, you want to be in these parties. So when the agency tells you you should go to these events and these parties, is to show that you're going to be there, take the photos, be in the prestigious elite. So that's how that works. That's why all the models, such as myself, want to go to these events, because you're a brand. You have to keep working and making money. So the agency, your agent, sets you up with these guys, such as Epstein. Maybe you're going to go on a date. Maybe you're not. So I was affiliated with a lot of girls that went on dates with Epstein. And my boyfriend, my fiance at the time, was David Blaine's producer. So I'm already in the elite group. I'm already going to these parties. I'm already being affiliated with these top celebrities. I'm going to these parties. I don't necessarily have to participate because I'm already affiliated, but I'm seeing what's going on. You see, there's my photos. There,
So did Epstein, what was his reputation like? Was
it's
all the dark stuff hidden?
So the dark stuff, when we went to his house, when we went to his condo to go to these events and these parties, I saw all these people and people I was affiliated with. They were all there. And there were also models there doing bad things. And for me, I would watch these models and these men interact with each other in inappropriate ways. And I was watching and not participating, but watching. And I knew what he was doing. I was watching how he was interacting with all the models and also stroking them, touching their hair, flirting with them. And
So
when
what
we were at Epstein's house, there was a room there that you can do drugs. It's whatever drugs you wanted, it was there. My fiance at the time was doing all these drugs.